This highway, you want to be able to go, if I'm on this road, I'm coming down, I want to go left and I want to be able to go right. If I come off onto this road here, I can then take a road and go left, or I can come over here and take a road and go right. Could we make that better? Don't know. Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and we are back in City Skylines 2 playing our city of Second City, and I'm just staring at this beautiful port. Now, I'm going to be totally honest, I'm recording this episode the day before the port episode goes out, so I have no idea if you guys love or hate this. I know people are going to hate that this like nub of land is here, and then the port bays are here, but like, what if you thought about these as like they would construct the boats here, and then they would send them off and out into the ocean? I don't know. I just feel like people are not going to like this. But we have a lot of room. We have this whole edge here. Once that port expansion comes out, I imagine we can expand this and just make this massive complex here, I think. I don't know. We know nothing about that expansion yet. But today, I want to focus on just a bunch of small, random things that I want to deal with. And the first thing on that list is this opening here at Horsham Flats. I had asked you guys in a post 2 weeks ago, I think, what should go here in this opening that we now have. And you guys gave me so many suggestions. We've got monuments, museums, watchtowers, postal headquarters, mall, department store, subway, a block-wide drag bar, which I live, but there's not an asset in the game that's going to be a block-wide drag bar. One thing we could put here is if I go over here to our tourist attractions, we have a few options here. Most of them, I'll be totally honest, like we have this watchtower, which we could afford. Most of these, though, 3.2. This is a water park, so it's really small. Castle, 4.8. Traditional Chinese temple, 3.2. Like, we can't afford a lot of this stuff. The Modern Art Museum, I think that would look really nice here. Now, I'm going to speed up time, see if we can get a little bit more money up in here.
Arms for leather! Arms for next leather!
But let's go ahead and build this modern art museum. To do that, we got to unlock our tourist attractions. They cost 8 points. Considering we have 68 points, not really worried about it. And I also want to unlock City Hall and the Central Bank. The Central Bank I have never built before, but the Central Bank, well, that's not true. We might have built this in the last season. But the central bank houses stock and resource traders, as well as financial advisors and loan officers, whose combined work lowers loan interests, reduces the price of imported resources, and increases export profits. So we're going to grab that as well. The rest of this, I'm good to not mess with this for now. I do want to start thinking about maybe getting a technical or medical research center soon, but I think we can hold off on that just for a bit longer. All right, let's look at this this modern museum. Oh, it doesn't fit. This was my fear. My fear all along was that this wasn't going to fit. Oh, no. And like, we are in the heart of the downtown. What we could consider doing is getting rid of this section of 7th Street. What kind of transit do we have going on here? We do have some transit along this section of 7th, but we could theoretically move that to 6th Street. I don't remember when I changed the names of all of these roads, but I did go through. Starting over here, we have 4th Street, and 4th Street, I believe it's because over here we have 1st Street somewhere. Yes, we have. So very like Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, we've got numbered streets that go north to south. But the very first one is not called 1st. It's called Front Street. So this is Front Street. After Front, we then have 2nd Street somewhere. Concord Street, I think. No, Concord Street's an avenue. So we have Front Street, then Concord Street. Then we have 2nd Street, which starts here. There's also an addition of 2nd Street somewhere else, I think further south. Then 3rd Street is maybe over here. Grove, Victoria, don't know. But then we end up somehow, we get to 4th Street. Sometimes this game changes the streets, which is a whole problem. But 4th Street, 5th Street, 6th Street. Come all the way here to Maple Avenue. After Maple, you have 10th, 11th, 12th. And then after 12th, I stopped doing it. But as we continue to expand, maybe we'll take that naming convention further. But I think what we can do is I think we can move the bus here that's going around Bedford, shift it over to 6th Street, and then we can take 7th Street and get rid of really all the people who live here. I think what we got to do is remove all 3 of these blocks. We're going to pause the game real quick. Get rid of the roads that are all here, right? So now we've opened up even more space, which is kind of crazy. And then let's consider getting some type of larger building in here somehow, some way. Exactly where, I'm not sure. What is this? This is an office building. What is this little collection going on right here? We've got a little mixed use building, mixed use, mixed use, mixed use. Okay, let's do this. Let's get rid of all of these buildings here. And someone said in the comments that the Chinese housing is the biggest housing. Like, it will get really large as it continues to grow. Maybe we do the Chinese low rent just to help the city out a little bit. I don't know. But we're going to basically replace the people who were living over here. We're going to move them over this direction. Horsham Flats has definitely changed. I mean, it went from having about 12, I think, thousand people now down to 7,000. So it's definitely a much smaller neighborhood than it once was. And I will say, I don't know if I love this medical clinic. So we might revisit that too. This block just is feeling a little strange. And maybe what we could also consider is shifting this building. This is employing how many people? Ooh, 83. That's a lot. This is only employing 7. This is actually a low density commercial building. So I think we're also going to shift this over into some low rent housing. And maybe we make that a nice big low rent building. Why don't we do that for both of these? Let's turn this over into low rent housing. Delete everything. Let's get a nice big building in there. That way we start to fill this out a little bit better. Perfect. This holds how many folks? 303 residents. That's amazing. All right. Now that we have this area opened up, let's figure out what we're doing here with our museum. The Modern Art Museum cost $1.2 million to build. It's quite large, but I think it's going to look really good in here. We could either place it along this road, along Highland Street. It would have 2 zonable squares behind it. We could also consider placing it in the middle, but I don't know if I have an idea for what could go around it. Alternatively, we could place it along North 8th Street and have 1 zonable tile on either side, and then we could do some additional zoning back along that section of 6th Street, which I think is what we're going to do. So we're going to place this building here. Because it's right along the edge, it auto connects up, which I think is fantastic. It gives us 75 indoor recreation, and all around, I mean, it costs us a lot per month, but it's got 16 employees, increases attractiveness, everything we love. Let's go ahead over here. Let's do, can I do a one-way small pedestrian street from here to here? It does, it runs into that road, but let's do it right there. There we go. So someone did tell me the small pedestrian one-way streets have zoning on them, which I did not know, which I think is incredible. Huge fan of that. And now we have this huge space open. I think we do all low rent housing right here. The city said, look, if you're going to build a brand new museum and you're going to knock down all of this housing, you have got to supply some low rent housing. People need it. And I'm not mad about it. Maybe we also do, we've kind of exhausted the high density demand. So maybe we actually come in here and we do 2 low densities. We add in some northeast office buildings. And we switch these 2 out to be high density commercial buildings. There we go. Just get a little mix of something going on there. We're going to see how that turns out. How is this guy going? 99. All right. At 100%, that's the size we've got. I am curious how big this will get as it continues to develop, we will see. It might become something like this, which this building looks great. That is a height I'm happy with. All right, so now we've got a brand new museum here, which I love. So what I think we do, because this is a museum, let's put linden trees all the way around. Honestly, even on this side, let's get rid of the parking that's here. Then there is going to be a section here where we've got buses, which is great because now the buses stop next to this tourist attraction, which is I love. Also, you can tell that there's parking lots in the basements of these buildings because where these cars moved, which I think is very fun. So we've got our brand new building here in the downtown, which I think looks really good. It's exactly what this area needed. We're doing okay on funds, although I will say, not doing the best. Now that we've moved that, I also want to come over here, and I've had a few suggestions to move Janine's bookshop. Now that we have a university, there is discussion that Janine's bookshop could actually look much more fitting if it was with the new university campus. And I think I agree. So we're going to grab Janine's bookshop, and I think I'm just going to place it literally right here. We're going to turn off road connection. We're going to zoom in. Autosave so it connects to the road. Then I'm going to turn the road connection off, and I should still be facing the road. Yes. Perfect. Place Janine's bookshop right here in the corner. I like this because the backside has no windows, so I imagine that's going to protect from some of that noise. But now we have a new bookshop that overlooks our university library. All the families can come in, drive over here, park in the parking lot, and walk back over to the bookshop, grab what they need. To replace the now missing bookshop from our Trafford College, which all around, enrollment-wise, is doing great. We don't even have an expansion on this. It's doing totally fine. Let's go ahead and add in the much requested other building. Here we go, the Iron Press building. This was what most people had said should have gone here instead. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to place the Iron Press building right here. Then what I want to do is I want to come over here to low density commercial, and we want to use the EE commercial. And we're going to place two little pieces of EE commercial on either side. This is going to look very similar to some of this building here, but it's going to make this road all feel like it is just like this little downtown area. So we have now placed the new bookstore. We moved the old bookstore. We designed the little Horsham Flats area. I also want to think about fire because I don't believe we have enough fire coverage in this section of the city, but we can't really afford much. Although, honestly, that little fire station there seems to be doing a lot. So why don't we just place a new station here in Easton? I think we try to sneak this fire station just kind of in here somewhere. This costs $115. It's going to service the whole area. It fits nicely. It's not too intrusive or anything. That works really well. Gives another additional service here to Easton. We're doing okay on the Easton Elementary School as well as on Easton High School, although it is getting a little precarious. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. Whew, that was a lot. We covered a ton of small stuff. We are definitely having a death wave here, so that's just something we got to realize. What do I want to do now? I didn't even really plan to get past all that. That turned out really well. I think I would like to maybe entertain changing out Middle Peak Elementary School. This area is really seeing a lot of development, and I think it could benefit us to have an additional elementary school. Some of these city elementary schools with their expansions can hold up to 1,700 students. How much is this elementary school? This guy can hold 1,500. Yeah, I think we change this out. This whole little area could become something different. So let's go ahead and let's see. What districts are you working in? Middle Peak, Dickinson Narrows, Horsham Flats, and Bedford. Okay. We're going to get rid of this elementary school. All right, Anarchy's now back off. We're still paused. Let's go check on our schools here and try to grab the City Elementary School, which we're going to place right here in the middle, I think, right along here. Perfect. You're going to operate in the same areas. You're going to operate in Middle Peak, Dickinson Narrows, Bedford, Horsham Flats, and was that it? Were you operating anywhere else? You were not in Longview, I know. I think that's good enough. Okay. We've got a new school. She's operating. She's doing her thing. I did actually just cut off access to this road, which is not exactly what I wanted. So I have to make an expensive change here. 28,000. But now what we can do is we can begin to zone out this little pocket here with a bit more development, which I think would be valuable. Let's send this road straight on out from here. Only thing that matters to me is the angle. Let's go ahead and send a road from right here straight on over as well. Right? We're going to leave all this trees, but all this here can become houses. We could also place a little roundabout there for people to turn around. And then maybe what we do is we also place a little road right here. Bam. Yeah, I'm happy with that. All right, let's place a key wall with anarchy right along this edge, forcing everyone over to here. This side looks pretty decent. Let's also force everyone over to here. Over in this area, let's go ahead and do this. We're going to add in some 2s, and then we're going to add in some 3s. And then I think all the way along here, we're going to do some more row homes. People love row homes, and we need more. We're going to place a few right along here. I do think I want to limit any zoning along this road as well, so that we can place some more row homes right along there. Now let's fill this area with a few more trees. This is Middle Peak. Got 888 households or 2,400 residents. This is now at full capacity, but we can add on this expansion and get that to 2,000. And I think we also give it that playground, which kind of emulates what we had before, just more in a city context. This high school is looking great. I mean, it does not nearly have enough people. We've got an extension, and we've got science labs, increasing the education quality. Although I don't think we need that per se. Now, the school does look quite large in comparison to what's around it, but the reality is that's going to happen. I don't think I like these here, though, but I like that they are representative of this being a smaller neighborhood. We could have moved that over here, given it another grade, but I don't know. I like that things are shifting here. We're slowly increasing that height. Why don't we go ahead and focus on kind of this area? I think what I'd like to do, let's go ahead and purchase. Really? Let's purchase all of this. It's going to cost $1 million. And the tile upkeep is 102, which is not great. But let's go ahead and just get it. Let's have it all. I don't really need this one, which doesn't do a ton for me. I think we can get rid of all of this for now. I want to own this new area. And then what I want to figure out is how are we going to edit this land and do really a road layout for some, if not all, of this area. The first thing we're going to want to do is I think I want to shift this interchange. Originally, I was going to pause this to do it, but sorry guys, you're going to have to find a new way. The city is undergoing a major redevelopment, and that unfortunately means that this highway no longer is going to work for you. So the first thing we have got to do is we've got to look at this land, because I have a feeling it's all hills, baby. Let's back that up even further. Let's also go ahead and get rid of this exit. Okay. Before I delete the throughfare, let's just get a sense of the land. So we've got this little plateau area where the train station sits. Ideally, I do want to see, we have a train that goes up and over this way. I do want to see another train turn this way and come along here and head out here. We have one going this way. We need one going this way. So that's going to come through here. So that means that I'm going to need to get all of these trains to kind of marry up to one another and go over top of this, which makes me think this here needs to just become a tunnel, right? So that's going to become tunneled. We also have these roads here, which are the highway, and we could send them down still, or we could also incorporate them into this tunneled section, right? Maybe do something like this. Let this area here be smoothed out a bit. We send this under as a tunnel. It's going to change kind of where that intersection takes place, but I think we do tunnel here. And then I think what we do is we shift our intersection maybe to kind of leverage this area. Although we also have this avenue. All right, raise all this. Raise all that. Let's start with this. So what I want to do for... nope, don't pause. Don't pause. Let it play. This is the only way we're going to make more money, is if I just let the game play. If I pause it every time I make a major development, no wonder we have no money. Let's go ahead and flatten this whole section out. Nice and square here. Love it. Now what we want to do is we want to take our highway, 3 lanes, parallel tool. Right there is tunnel. Send it straight on out at the 180 to here. And then we're going to rotate from here to here, and we're going to raise it up. And it's going to connect right back in. How does that look? Not great. Not great. What the heck happened here? What I'd rather do is this. Let's grab our land. Let's go here. We want to go from here to here and just smooth it out, just like so. Then we're going to get rid of both of these 2 sections. We're going to go from here to here and go just like this. Right? Just like so. Now we should be able, if I go underground enough, till it switches to this view. We're going to come over here, go like this, go ahead and start raising it up. And let it have that nice slow curve. Here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to then bring it back down until we go underground. Right there is tunnel. So I think we send it right to there. Okay, so now we've extended this highway underground. It doesn't mean we've fixed anything because I've completely removed all of our, our interchange connections here. But I think what we could consider doing is figuring out a way for the interchanges to come over and somehow connect. We might lose a little bit of Mullins. We will see. Okay, right here, let's bring this back up to ground level. Is this a 3-lane or a 2-lane? That's a 2-lane highway? Wow. Let's bring this 2-lane highway. It goes downhill, but it doesn't really need to. Let's get rid of all that. Let's do it this way. Let's use Move It. We're going to raise this to this height. Use Move It and raise this to this height now. Let's flatten it out from here to here and just go like this. Gives us a little bit better connection. Oh, I did want to show you guys this area, which now I'm going to have to rework, but I did add a tunnel. It looked way better before I started messing with the land off camera. The tunnel goes underneath the highway. As you can see, people are using it. It splits off, and I'm pretending this is like a concourse underneath of our train station, but then it comes out on both ends. So we have one over here, and we have one over here that people can use to get underneath the train station. Is this getting any better? 583 passengers? It is, slowly but surely. All right, so now we need to take these 2 sections of highway. I'm going to put this back to a 3. And we're going to send this out straight to right here. Then we're going to switch to a 2. Let's send it right to here. And then let's take a moment to figure out what we're doing. So ultimately, I'm going to want this highway to kind of begin to snake over this direction, but become more of like a single road. I think I want some type of either here or here, I want to have some kind of beautiful kind of just mark for the city, whether that's here and it's like a massive statue, or if it's like the, I don't think City Hall or anything. Maybe it's like a beautiful park right here, like something here that's just, it signifies like here's the entrance to the city, but that also means that we need to have connectivity. So maybe what happens is we grade, this is the flattest area I have here. So we grade from here kind of over from here. Just like so. Right? And then we can take these roads, snap to existing, switch over to a curved option, and begin to curve this kind of over this direction. Switch back to straight. Right here at 180, come over here, right? So for now, it's dead ending, and it looks a little strange, but eventually there's going to be something here. What? I don't know. If you have any ideas, leave your thoughts, questions, comments, and feedback down below. Over here, we've now got to get these two highways to communicate, because right now they don't. And that's the hardest part, is getting them to communicate. I can tell you right now, I think this section of this neighborhood of Mullins has to go. I also think that particular road has to go. The highway here for Sunnyside Highway can curve off of here and connect right into there. And I think that would work just fine. Similarly, we could figure out how we get this to curve over, and it could actually connect here and maybe connects over somehow else. How exactly, I don't know yet. But let's build what we do know. We know that this is going to come over this way, which means that this should never really be less than 3 lanes. If anything, there's going to need to be a section here where this gets 4 lanes, because we're going to have a new road come off of this. Turn off parallel. And let's do this. Let's go straight here. Let's go straight here. Right here, upgrade this into a 4-laner. Get rid of this, get rid of this. We're going to send it down and around the side, straight slope the whole time. Bring it right over here. Bam. It would connect me up right there. Does put a bit of a wall right there, so if you're living here, it's already quite loud. But the wall's not too high. Okay, I'm not mad about that. It gives me this access point. What it does mean, however, is that immediately after this, this needs to be upgraded to 3 to give you that opportunity to get over. All of this is going to need a sound barrier. All of this is going to need a sound barrier, but because it is a key wall, it can't have a sound barrier. A little bit loud there. That's okay. Okay. It actually meant I probably could have kept those houses there. Sorry for those whose home I just deleted. My bad. We could also consider using this exit to loop around and get you back onto Cooper Highway. We're going to figure it out as we go, troubleshoot in real time, and just kind of see what we come up with. If I were to grab this height, which is like relatively flat, we could consider having another road maybe come off of here that comes down and loops over, and it can also have the same. Okay, yep. Okay, we're gonna kind of like park clo this a little bit in a weird way, though. That would be strange, wouldn't it? But interchanges don't need to be these like perfect matchy things. I'm trying to get myself away from that type of thinking, because I think it's limiting. That's how I feel. I do want you guys to be able to come over to here. So I think that could potentially call for an exit underground. That's going to come off of here. What if I upgraded... If I upgraded this section here, it's claiming that's too close. So what if we do this second section, right? We upgrade that to a 3-lane road. Then we build, go to -12.5 like we had it, We're on that curve mode. We build a curve right off of here. That connects right on in. Doesn't even need to have a curve here. Bam. Now, bear with me. We are going to have to kind of adjust some of this because I think what happens here is that it's just a bit too close to look nice because there's such a change in height here. Turn off ground level, turn off this. Turn everything else back on. Put that there, then come up to ground level. And curve a mountain in. We're going to have to get the train around there. I think we can squeeze it though. I think we can make that work. So there is this weird exit here. But it works. It works. I'll take it. All right, let's just quickly make some updates to this. Because if all this is going to be crazy, we gotta fix it before it gets too wild. Upgrade that to 2 lanes. I could see a little bit more 3 lanes here. Maybe this gets upgraded to a 2 lane. I think all of that gets a 2 lane. This then goes back to a 4 lane. 2 of those lanes end up getting off. But I think we now switch that so that this is just one of those lanes ends up going off. Yeah. One of those lanes stays on the highway. It's not ideal for that little intersection there, and it's going to be difficult, but since no one's connected to that right now, we're going to be fine for at least the immediate. Let's also go ahead and build out just a tiny, tiny little straight road here because I think I do want this to be upgraded to 3. No, I think I want this to be upgraded to 4. So underground, it does go from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. Whoops, wrong direction. Goes from 2 lanes over into 4 lanes, and if you want to get off, you gotta go this way. Dangerous little underground connection there, but I think that's gonna work. All right, so now you can get off the highway onto the other highway, and you can get off this highway onto this highway. Now you gotta get from this highway onto this highway. That's a little bit easier because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send a road up and over. Bam. At least that's what I'm thinking. I think we're gonna follow this line here. This could probably just all be above ground. No reason for this to even go underground. What we're going to do is right up here, before you enter into the tunnel, is going to be an exit. This exit is going to go from here, kind of straight on over and up into here. Just like so. Nice and sweeping. Yeah. Nice and sweeping. Gives us this kind of area here. Don't know what's going to happen with it yet, but we're going to come up with something. I do think off camera, I need to adjust some of this because this doesn't look kind of exactly as I was hoping. I also want to consider how we get them connected here to this train station because I think that would be a valuable place for people to get a quick connection to. And I don't know exactly how we're going to do that yet. I know this looks a little crazy though. Let's then take Autumn, and I think we're going to send Autumn right here along the side and bring it down. So let's do this. Let's grab this height. Let's come down to here and let's just match what we already have going on here. Then we're going to go from here over to here, turn, and turn up and turn in, just like so. We're coming in here with a hot 3, which is maybe too much. This should really be like a hot 2. Yeah. This should be a hot 2 all the way through. We're having some serious congestion here. And I wonder if what we do is we actually completely rethink this entirely. Bear with me. I know we just built this. But we also already anticipated a major issue happening. And it's already coming to fruition. We're getting a massive, massive backup. I think what we consider is this. Let's go ahead, because we know we want this train to go further. Let's go ahead and bring this train out in a bridged formation. Only snap to angle. And snap to units. Give me 10 units of bridged bridge. Or bridged train. Bam. So there's our bridge, right? Or train. We know that that's already bridged up. What we want to do then is we want to turn bridge off, put this on ground level, put this here at 7.5, and bring this through. And if I curve, we now have a bridge of trains above the highway. And what we could consider is turning off ground, going from this point here up to 0, and curving it up and in. Anarchy's off. We're just doing the thing. Hold on. Back that up. Back this up. Back this up. We know it's possible, right? So what if I bring this down to 625? Can that go underneath? Here's the kind of straight parallel to the highway currently. Yeah. Yep. Send you all over that direction. Then this is going to come down and connect kind of like right into here. Like if I were just to take this and go, straight, it would be a little rough. So we will give it a little bit of a curve. We're going to rotate it. Bam. Then we're going to upgrade this into a 4-lane moment. We want to grab the manipulation tool and move it and just manipulate this bend a little bit. Actually, I think what we want to do is delete this. This is just has been easier for me is if you delete the connection you've made and then just reconnect it. So now we've got this new highway exit that comes straight on up. It skirts right on over here and gets you back onto the main highway. One lane turns off and gets you into the city. One lane goes straight through to where you can take the next exit, which also gets you into the city, which then keeps going here. And there's another exit and keeps going straight. And then there's another exit and there's another exit and there's another exit, another exit. Yeah, you got options. You got lots of options. All right, now that we have this in place, I want to change this connection. What I'd like to see, and kind of taking some cues from what we've done here, I want to have a road that basically goes straight from there, but it goes underneath of these two segments. So that means I need to first upgrade these segments into elevated segments. Go to the 2-lane, upgrade, put it in elevation mode. Upgrade both of these to bridges. Now remove all these tiny little guys. We're going to want to have a road that goes from here, snaps to the ground, constant slope, but basically goes down far enough that it's not going to intersect those bridges. Perfect. Now go from here. Actually, go back up to 0 now. go from here, and we just want to go straight out. If I connect into it, that looks fine. So then what we're going to do is we're going to use a curve tool. We're going to come from here to here, right? We're going to switch up some of this connections here, some of these connections here, turn that into a 2-lane, although I would also love to turn that off, and let's just like kind of scooch this over some. This highway needs to get to this highway, and this highway also needs to get to this road, right? Am I crazy? Have I only done half of the connections here? I might be losing my mind. This highway, you want to be able to go, if I'm on this road, I'm coming down, I want to go left and I want to be able to go right. If I come off onto this road here, I can then take a road and go left, or I can come over here and take a road and go right. Could we make that better? Don't know. So now you can come off of this highway, sunny highway, and you can go left or you can go right. Now, we desperately need to do some work here on these key walls. Get rid of those. We're going to make it all look nice in a second, but for the moment, just to make it look less startling, let's give it just a bit of a smooth. Okay. Right, so now you can go left or right, which is really useful. I do think you're going to want to have this section upgraded to split into the 2 lanes. The question is, does that default to, I think that defaults to this direction. This is not going to look good at all though. Look at that. That's terrible. Hold on. From this coming down this way, you can go left or right. Great. If I'm coming off this way, I can go forward, which I can already do. This has done nothing. This road is useless. All right, let's do this. Let's take this land. Let's level this little section out here. Let's just get a little crazy. Smooth it out a bit. Let's then take go straight right here. Bam. Delete this. Delete this. Now, let's go from here and let's go over. And we do something like this, right? This then gets an upgrade to 3 lanes. This gets an upgrade to 3 lanes as well. For some reason it doesn't work though, which is weird because the other one works just fine. Can only go left. We need to get you to also go right. I think the way we make you go right, I had a vision for this. I don't know if I'm able to realize it, but what we could do is this. We could send this through this way. Which is basically what we already had. If I'm being honest, but that's not bad. Okay. So now you can go from this road left, right. From this road here, you can go left or you can go right. Now from this road here, you can also get ready to go left or right. Hold the phone, turn anarchy off. Right, right, right. Like, we're trying to move a lot of people over here. This is going to be a busy intersection. So now, it's crazy. It's wild looking. If we were to go from this direction, you can go to the right and you can come up and around and go to the left. If you're going this direction, you can go to the right, or you can come up and around and go to the left. If you're going this direction, you can go to the right, but you can't go to the left. Crap. Oh no. Because I want the trains to come forward and go over this direction, right? So maybe we do this. Maybe what we do is we build a train first. That's going to help me make sure I'm doing all this well. I think I want to send this train to go over. Like if this train was to come over this direction. Turn this down. We want to make sure that that increase is not above 5% if at all possible. So how can we do that? I guess we have to start raising it the moment we leave the station. So there it is, bridge mode. Bam. We can get it to go from here over to here with only 2.8. If I turn everything else off, I can get it to go to here. 2.7. How's that look? Let's get a sense. Looks pretty good to me. Crosses over these roads. Okay. Then let's reconnect to this. And essentially what we want to do is we want to start sending it over this direction. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. And I think let's actually do it this way. Let's increase. What am I clicking on? Let's increase the land height. Let's grab this level, right? Grab this. And we basically want to go down from here up. So if we send this road, this land up that direction, maybe even take it up further. Hold on, let's do it like this. What if we reduce the size of this brush, shift the land up, right? Click the piece that's kind of next to our train height, which seems to be like right there, right? Now grab this height, increase this to 50 just for the sake of keeping it easy. We're going to send it down like this, and I think just send it straight over. So let's go from here and send it up just like this. Okay, now go back over here, grab this guy, rotate it this way. If we turn off bridge and just let it kind of bridge naturally, we can get it to ground level, but we are greater than 5. But if we keep pulling it, if we go even further out, that gets me to 4.7. Right? Let's snap to angles. That gets me to 4.6, 5.3. Let's do 4.6. And that's exactly at 5. Right there. Bam. Constant slope. Comes straight on down. Looks pretty good. Now the question is, what do we do with these other 2 train lines? Yeah. Yep. And then this can now start going this way. So we have a train going this way, and now we have another train that's servicing this coastline eventually. And with us having 3 options, if we wanted to, maybe take this second one, use that for the coastline, this other one could do something. What exactly, I don't know. Maybe one of them actually comes over here, and there's a train station here for whatever this tourist thing is. But now that we have the trains in place, now I think we can figure out how do we then incorporate the left exit for Mill Highway. It needs to go to the left. Why am I struggling with getting this to the left? As another way of stalling this out, let's send this road right over here. And I don't know, send it there. What is the reason? I have no idea yet. This is just a cliff's edge at the moment. All right, let's see what I can come up with. Okay, it's not horrendous. Basically, if you're going down Mill Highway and you're going through, you get off one exit to go any direction. You get off this exit to go left. You also get off this exit to go right. Then you can also keep going straight. If we switch over to here, we've got, what is this road? Sunnyside Highway. You can get off this one exit and you can either go left, which is this direction, or you go right. Now, I have a feeling this particular kind of merge area is going to be a problem. We're going to see how that goes in real time, especially once we start developing down this way. All right, then if you're on Cooper Highway, you can get off of this one exit and you can either go left, or you can continue taking Cooper Highway up and rotate around and go right. And then if you're on this side of Sunnyside Highway, you can get off left here and go this direction, or right. Then you can keep going straight and you get off left on this direction, connected to this weird merge thing, which then you can get off and, wait a minute, if you go this way, you can come off here and you can go left, or you can go right. So you don't even need this extra piece because that's already accomplished by this highway connection. So this is an extra connection here. Get rid of that. We don't need it. This can just be a one-way curve, which also means that this goes down to 2 lanes. It can stay at 2 lanes, which I like a lot more. That kind of now gives some, like there's a curve here, there's a curve. These kind of make a bit more sense. I don't know. It's something. It's definitely unique. Let's just start doing a little bit of work here with our key walls and our retaining walls and see if that maybe just helps make this look a little less terrible. Now, what is strange is that all of these are tunnels, yet this is not a tunnel, but I almost want to argue like this is the local road and these are the expresses. That's why there's no exits on these highways. The exits are on the 2 local roads going along the highway. See, I'm making up a reason for over-engineering literally all of this. This section, I do wonder if we just anarchy in just better supports for this. Like that. No, this should keep the retaining wall. That whole section. It can migrate into that, but I think, yeah, that looks okay. And then most of this, I think we do want to give it a little retaining wall because I don't want traffic being able to run into other lanes of traffic. What I don't want is an accident sliding off the highway and then running into other lanes of traffic down below. I think this whole side needs sound barriers because we are right up here by some pedestrian areas. Sound barrier, really just all of that. Now what I want to think about is just kind of wrap things up, how we kind of blend all of this together so it looks like it makes a little bit more sense. I don't know if I did this by accident, although a lighthouse would look pretty cool right there. We're going to leave that little section alone. This is coming down this way. I think for now, we could probably just smooth this out along the highway. This section, I do think we're going to want to maybe level out most of this. And in fact, I think we're going to do that real quick. If I were to grab a relatively decent sized brush and bring this over this direction, right? Then if I deleted this little curve, what would it look like if we reduced the size of this and went from here to here, curved it up? It's a pretty intense 13% grade, but what I'm thinking is we could then have some kind of road that goes just straight along the waterfront here. Is that like elevated or something? Why is it elevated? Hold on. That's not correct. Get rid of all that. Auto save in. Oh, I had elevate on. That would totally explain why such a thing was elevated. We'll curve it around this way and we'll send this out just a little bit straight. So now what we're going to do is we're going to then take this guy, right? Okay, hold on. Here we go. And we're going to rotate this straight on down and into here. Better yet, I'm going to come up this direction, rotate from here. I can't tell what that grade change is. 13%. 12.9. We'll take 12.9. There we go. Does make me think that like this bridged section is maybe a bit too long. Right? Like maybe that should be like that. And then this can come back over like this. Bam. All right. So now we've got a brand new kind of frontage area where we can have a number of vehicles or a number of things zoned. If we get rid of all this foliage we've got going on here, which is just in the way at this point, this now connects all the way through to the university, which is perfect. Now, I think what we just have to figure out is how do we make this not look so terrible? I think we do that by giving all this a nice grade. In this area, I do want to make one change in that I want to kind of cut this corner a little bit. And to do that, I'm just going to do level. And I'm going to come over like this. Cut this corner out, back this all up, and then we're just going to use the smooth it tool. I don't actually own a ton of the land over here, so there's only so much I can actually accomplish. I think that just makes a little bit more sense with where our port is actually sitting. And you know what? Hold the phone. I'm seeing another opportunity for us here. This 4-lane road can now, hold on, can rotate this direction, come over here, cross underneath of our highway, and then connect right on in. Let's do this. Let's upgrade this segment into a 4-lane road. It deleted that again. I give up. That thing just doesn't want to be there. That's what I've learned. Send this out to here and rotate it out and in. Okay, so now we've got a brand new connection here as well, which then you can take it all the way around, use this avenue to get back towards the train station, and then eventually this is going to come over and do something over here. What exactly, I don't know, but for now, let's go ahead, keep the slope tool on. Let's give this a nice curve and send it just right up this way. 7.9, I'll take it. And what we can even do is just smooth this out. All right, so I think that's where we're gonna leave this part here. It's a little bit of a intense interchange. It's doing something. We've got some destroyed houses over here. No, weather damage. Oh, they'll be fine. It's a bit of an intense interchange, but again, we've got our 2 highways that function kind of as our express regional traffic. And then we have our 2 highways that are functioning more as the local traffic connections. We are having a bit of a traffic jam over here. I'm not entirely sure what has changed. Traffic jam to there. These guys are traffic jamming to get here. I wonder if they just haven't realized they can use this as well. or maybe some things have upgraded and people are moving in. Could be anything. But for now, I think that's where we're going to leave this part here. Let me know what you think of this brand new setup we've got here. We've expanded these train lines, expanded the highways, and now we've got a whole new area that we can start districting, which I think is going to look really nice, kind of juxtapositioned to this cargo harbor. Unfortunately, the wind here does make it so we can't really build. Hold on. This could be some kind of industrial area, which I think could really benefit the city. Oh man. All right, we've got options. All right, guys, I think that's where we're gonna end this part here. A quick shout out to my channel members. Thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, click the link in the description below to unlock custom emojis, loyalty badges, early access to videos, save game files, members only content, merchandise discounts, and more. And until next time, leave your questions, comments, and feedback down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.